Hey there, good afternoon all. Stacy LaChapelle here. So this will be my final submission for the heart section. So today we will be doing a brief Dharma discussion followed by a condensed yoga sequence, followed by some breath work and then some meditation. So we'll get started. So finding a comfortable seat just so that you can put all your attention on the Dharma discussion. So if we're in an uncomfortable seat, it makes it uncomfortable for us to listen, and sometimes we find ourselves distracted by other things like the pain in our bodies. So find someplace comfortable that you can sit in a position that you can hold for a few minutes here. So I would like to talk today or share the teachings of karma and samskara. Karma, loosely translated, is basically the universal principle of cause and effect. So, or action and reaction. Samskaras, which are our past thoughts and actions, then form impressions in our subconscious memory. So, things from the past, or maybe even, cultural things or family related things, patterns that continue to come up in your mind or in your body. So those samskaras also can affect how we act in the future. So, if we're constantly just going through and regurgitating thoughts and patterns in our minds and our bodies that we've been doing for years, that's going to affect how we behave in the future, right? So I like to say to my kids, I've been saying it to them for years actually, that, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? So we can apply that here as well. So implicit in the yogic concept of karma is that action driven by intention leads to future consequences. Thoughts and actions are transformative. So, if we're continuing to do the same things over and over again, we're not going to get a different result. But yet, if we start to place our thoughts in a different direction with a more centered intention, then we can start to change the trajectory of our thoughts and how our body reacts to things that we ask it to do. So, the world is made up of made and remade by our actions and our thoughts. The fact that every action creates an effect is what allows us the opportunity, as human beings, we have the opportunity to learn and to grow and to evolve, right? So the more attention we give to those patterns that we continually see, that may not be beneficial to us in the long run, the more attention that we give to them, the more opportunity we have to change and evolve them into something that is more productive for us. So the analogy that I like to use, I use it often actually, not only for myself but for my students in teaching, is that imagine that you could witness your karmic patterns by watching your life story on a movie screen, right? So if you could step back from yourself and observe your actions and reactions without judgment or attachment to them, right? Or coming up with stories about them. Well, I do this because of that. Or, kind of like the blaming, or you getting into this, like, pushing off accountability on someone else or something else, or, things that have happened to you in your life. All of those things, without doing that, if you could just witness, like, your life on the screen and watch it for those samskaric and karmic patterns. Like if you could watch your entire life's history, mine would be kind of long at this point, but if you could watch that, and then you could observe and witness yourself making similar choices over and over again with little change, right? So if you could watch that, what would you change? Would you witness growth and transformation, or would you witness yourself just making those same decisions over and over, right? The definition of insanity, some would say. So although karmic theory suggests that we're present and affected by the thoughts and actions of our past, and that the future has everything to do with what we do now, right? So now is what matters. Doesn't matter as much what happened in the past, except for from a knowledge perspective, right? So it matters from a knowledge perspective. And for us to be able to pattern things differently. So that's why the past is important. The future is important because, I wouldn't focus all your attention on the future. Your attention should be focused on the now. Like, what are your visions and your beliefs and your thoughts about where you are now in your life. But if you start to funnel your thoughts into these like positive intentions, your life will start to transform in the future into those positive intentions. So, long-winded way of just saying, pay attention, right? Notice, observe your thoughts. Notice and observe the way that you move in and out of postures in your yoga practice, or even just the way that you walk, your gait. A lot of, just notice, observe. I like to also take that into the food that I eat and noticing and observing how my body responds to that. Anyway, so basically, karma says that the positive effort that you make now will benefit you in the future. This is true on both a mundane and a spiritual level. Whether you're trying to break a habit or awaken to your essential self, if you understand the law of karma, you know that if you keep making effort in that certain direction, you'll eventually get there. So basically, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Maybe give you some seed for thought, and maybe bring to mind just this idea of, without changing anything, just paying attention. Paying attention to your thoughts, paying attention to your body, paying attention to your reactions to things. Yeah, so that's it. Anyways, let's get started with our condensed asana practice. So we'll do probably about 30 minutes here. So if you could come to your child's pose, extend your arms out nice and long in front of you. Sorry, I'm just going to pull my hair back so I can actually see. And apologies for the not so great technology, but anyways, finding your child's pose. Reach your arms out nice and long. And sort of just to start to settle in here, observing, right? Witnessing. Notice here in this pose of introspection. Notice and observe where your thoughts are coming from, if they're coming from a karmic or a samskaric belief or pattern, or if they're coming from a place of evolution and transformation. Begin to follow your breath, watching your inhales and your exhales. Feeling them in your body. Perhaps even visualizing them. And take a couple more breaths here. As you're ready, start to find your way to your first tabletop position. From tabletop, just start to migrate your way into your cat and cow stretches, inhaling as you drop the belly, The heart reaches forward as you bring the shoulder blades together on your back, and exhale as you round through the spine. Perhaps tucking and untucking the toes as well, starting to warm up the feet, tuck the toes as the heart reaches forward and the belly drops, untucking the toes as you round through the spine. A couple more rounds, just like that. Nice big breaths in and big breaths out. Notice if they're getting stuck anywhere in the body. And then start to just move in any other shape or motion that your body is looking for. Sometimes I like to do some hip circles here, or sometimes I like to find some rolling of the neck and shoulders. Just begin to notice how your body is showing up on your mat. And then as you're ready, finding some stillness, and find your way to your first down dog, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips high. And continuing to observe and witness here. Lifting up onto the toes, maybe bending into the knees. Noticing how that feels, shifting forward, high plank. Again, just noticing how it feels, how the body's showing up. And then finding stillness in your down dog. Maybe spreading the toes. Take a huge breath in through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. One more just like that. Big breath in. And big breath out. Beautiful. Inhale up onto the tiptoes. Take a nice slow walk to the front of your mat. When you arrive at the front of your mat, inhale, find a half lift. Nice straight spine. Maybe even lift the fingertips up. They can come to above your knees or your shins. And exhale, fold. Gathering up the elbows. Finding your ragdoll. Have the knees bent and the belly just resting on the thighs. A couple strong breaths here. And slowly releasing your bind. Take a nice long roll, slow, all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, the hands come into heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale for your forward fold. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, tabletop. In your tabletop position, we're going to work with something. I call them sort of scapular push-ups. My students love them. Not really. Anyways, we're going to get really strong here in the fingertips to really grip the ground. I'm going to have the inside hollow part of your arm facing forward. Take a nice big breath in and a big breath out. So the next time you breathe in, I want you to think about spreading through the shoulder blades here. So protracting the shoulder blades, moving them away from each other. So getting nice and broad in the upper back. And then exhale, soften the heart towards the earth. The arms don't move. And the shoulder blades come together on your back. Inhale, move them apart. Press through the ground. Exhale, soften the heart. Shoulder blades come together. 2 more rounds just like that. Come back to a neutral spine. Weight pours into the fingertips. Lift the hips high. Down dog. Take a nice big breath in. And a big breath out. Your next inhale, shift forward, high plank, and hold. Stay here for a full round of breath. And again, notice the shoulder blades moved away from each other, nice and broad through the upper back, protraction. Exhale, shift back. Twice more just like that. Inhale, shift forward. Notice and observe. And exhale, shift back. One final time. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back, down dog. Inhale up onto the tiptoes. Nice slow walk to the front of your mat. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale for your fold. Inhale to rise. Arms reach up overhead. And then come into heart center. Take a moment here. Pause. Notice. Observe. Allow the hands to come down by your sides. Interlace the fingers. Actually, I just noticed you can't see me. Interlace the fingers behind the low back. So as you do this, I just want you to witness what's going on here in your body. So you might find a tightness here through the front body here. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift the right shoulder blade up, back, and down, and then you're going to do the same with the left. And then as you do that, you're going to pull your shoulder blades together on your back until you feel your heart lift. So pulling the shoulder blades together to the midline of your body is going to automatically start to reach your heart forward. So see if you can take a couple breaths here. Again, come to that place where you're witnessing and observing your thoughts and your actions. So do you usually come into this, the bound hands, just jamming your shoulders back, and maybe the lifting up and back, and then moving the shoulder blades together, taking those actions and those steps? Again, noticing your samskaric patterns, your karmic patterns, and where they're coming from. Could we do it differently, coming from a place of evolution and transformation? And releasing the bind. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale for your forward fold. Inhale your half lift, plant the fingers, step back with the left leg. Sorry, my space is a little short here so that you guys can see me on camera. So I'm going to take a nice big breath in. Press down through that front heel. Pull your back foot towards the front so that you lift the hips just a little bit here. Find some space. Bring the shoulder blades together on your back until you feel your heart lift. And then drop the back knee, Anjaneyasana. In your Anjaneyasana, again, we're going to bring our hands behind us. We're not going to interlace them this time, though. We're going to keep them long. Again, roll the right shoulder blade up, back, and down. Left goes up, back, and down. Reach the arms long behind you. Bring the shoulder blades together on your back. Witness and observe. Where are your thoughts and actions coming from here? Are they coming from a place of transformation and growth? Or are you just trying to get through the class? Here and breathe. Still strong through the legs here, pressing down through that front heel, pulling the back knee toward the front so that you stay strong in the legs, the hips lift. Beautiful. The hands come down to the earth. I'm going to lengthen out through that front leg. I'm going to find our half split. Take a nice big breath in, maybe exhale, fold. Maybe you spread the toes. So the toes are reaching up towards the sky and then back towards the shin. And if that's too much, you can bend gently into the knee. And then just have the toes reach up towards the sky and not pull them back towards the shin. if that's too much in the hamstring. Take a nice big breath in, find length. Exhale, soften forward. And maybe one more time, deep breath in. And exhale, soften. Beautiful. Bend back into that right knee. Step forward the front of your mat. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands into heart center, Samastiti. Take a big breath in and out. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale for your fold. Inhale your half lift. Plant the hands, this time stepping back with the right leg. Again, finding the actions, pressing down through the front heel, pulling the back foot toward the front isometrically so that the heart lifts, maybe the fingertips lift, shoulder blades together on your back, and then drop the back knee. Anjaneyasana. Again here, staying active in the legs, pressing down through the heel, the front heel, pulling forward with that back knee. Again, the arms are going to reach nice and long, so maybe you reach the right shoulder blade up and back, the left up and back, and then the fingertips reach back, nice and long behind you. You could even imagine you had a ball between your hands, and those shoulder blades together on your back, which are going to automatically allow your heart to lift. Again, witness and observe your thoughts and your patterns. Where can you find growth and transformation? Perhaps even just from doing the opposite side. Beautiful. Fingertips come to the earth, framing that front leg. Lengthen out through that leg. Maybe spreading the toes. Take a huge breath in. Get long in the spine. Exhale, soften forward. Your half split. And next inhale, you're going to plant back into that left foot. Step forward the front of your mat. Inhale, find your half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale to rise. Arms reach up overhead and then come into heart center. Take a moment here. Maybe rock forward into the balls of the feet. Rock back into the heels. Take a nice big breath in. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale for your forward fold. Inhale your half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or flow back, down dog. Take a huge breath in. And a huge breath out. Again, coming to that place, witnessing and observing. How can your down dog change? Witness and observe your karmic thoughts and patterns here, the actions in your body. Are they coming from that same old place, or are they coming from a place of growth and transformation? Maybe changing the posture by gripping with the fingers, grounding down through the feet, moving the heels away from each other, firing up the outsides of the hips. Nice big breath in. Inhale up onto the tiptoes. Find your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, find a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, chair pose. I like to bring my feet hips width distance apart here. Some people like their big toes together. Reach the arms up overhead and settle in. Maybe lift the toes. It's one of my favorite things to do actually in this pose, so I can feel all four corners of my feet. And then you want to maintain that curvature at your low back here. We're going to allow the hands to come down, interlace at the low back, just like we were doing earlier. And again, I want you to approach this perhaps a little bit differently than normal. So you'll notice that you don't have a lot of range of motion if you just interlace your hands and then pull your hands back. But try it, maybe bend into the bend into the arms. Inhale, reach the right shoulder up, back. And then the left shoulder reaches up and back. Then pull the shoulder blades together on your back. Yeah, I know, we're still in chair pose. Yep, I'm here with you. And then reach the arms away from the low back. So you might get a lot more range of motion here. Just breathe. So again, noticing that you're moving the shoulder blades toward each other until your heart lifts. One more deep breath in and out. Inhale to stand, exhale your forward fold, keeping the hands bound. Let the shoulders shrug up towards the ears. And then if you're going to reach the arms away from the body, you can do it then. Releasing your bind. Fingertips come to the mat. Find your way back to down dog, any way you'd like to get there. Three strong breaths here. Your next inhale, right leg lifts up towards the sky, allowing it to be straight and strong to start. So I just want you to notice and feel your abdominal muscles here engage. And then bend the knee, open the hip. The length of the leg. Step forward, crescent. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Take a moment here, settle in. Soften through the shoulders. And actually feel those shoulder blades on your back. So can you feel them pulling toward each other so that your heart lifts? And we're going to allow the hands to come into heart center. And find your balance here. So again, pressing down through that front heel. Pulling the back foot towards the front so you can find that little lift of the hips. Take a nice big breath in. We're going to find a twist. So the left elbow coming to the outside of the right knee. And take a couple breaths here. Just to find your way into the twist. As you do, start to pull that right shoulder blade back towards the midline. It's going to give you a little bit more access to your breath into the twist. Pressing down through the front heel and pulling forward with the back leg. It's going to give you a little lift in the hips so that you find a little bit more breath there into the belly. And then open up warrior two. Maybe adjusting the feet if necessary. Maybe the distance between the front and back foot. And again, you'll notice here that we're maintaining the curvature at the low spine, so we're not fully tucked under and we're not way back. Just find that nice sweet spot. So engaging through the legs here. You're pressing down into that front heel and then into the outer foot on the back leg. Take a nice big breath in and then reverse. So on the reverse, notice it's a lifting up and out of that right rib cage. It's not a dumping down into the left. So you're lifting, you're getting taller. And then coming down your side angle. So side angle prep to begin. Right elbow on top of the right knee, maybe the left hand to the hip. And then I want you to take that left shoulder, pull it back so that it's moving towards the midline of your body so that your heart lifts. Staying strong in the legs here. And maybe you start to take those right fingertips down towards the earth or maybe a block, sliding them down. Left shoulder blade comes back to the midline of the body so that the heart opens. So notice here where the mind has gone. Are you coming back to those samskaric, karmic patterns? Or are you moving toward transformation? Beautiful. Left hand comes back down to the earth, moving the props that you have, and find your way back to down dog. Couple strong breaths here in your down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. Straight and strong to start. Engaging the abdominal muscles. Strong through the hands. Bend the knee, open the hip. And lengthen the leg and step forward to crescent. Again, notice the shoulder blades coming together on your back. Heart's lifting. Breath is strong. Pressing down through that front heel. Pulling forward with the back leg. Allow the hands to come into heart center. And we'll find that twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. So find your balance and your structure. And then work your way into the twist. With every breath, you get a little bit deeper. You're pulling that left shoulder blade back now towards the midline so that the heart can open and the breath can stay strong. And next inhale, open up Warrior Two. Again, checking in with your structure, maybe lifting the toes, planting them back down. So you get into a posture, we don't just stay there, we're constantly editing, shifting, pivoting, just like we do in life. And finding our reverse, again a lifting up and out of the rib cage on the left side. And then finding our side angle prep to begin. Allowing the right hand to come to the hip, left elbow to the inside, and the left knee. We'll start to turn the heart, rolling the right shoulder blade back to the midline so that the heart can open. Perhaps fingertips reach down towards the earth or a block. If you found that you've lost your breath here, I'd suggest a block so that you can give yourself a little bit more room to breathe. Again, perhaps one of your karmic or samskaric patterns is to say, nope, I don't need the block. I can reach the floor, but notice where your breath is here. See if you can start to change some of those patterns. Maybe you notice that you're not breathing as well here. You bring in the block and look, wow, you can breathe. Beautiful. The hands come down towards the earth. Find your way back to down dog. Take a huge breath in and a huge breath out. Next inhale, we're going to shift forward, high plank, and then lower yourself really slow all the way down. Allow the elbows to come underneath the shoulders, setting up for Sphinx pose. Tops of the feet grounded to the earth. I want you to grip the ground with your fingers and imagine that you could pull your fingers back to your feet and your feet toward your fingers so that all the muscles in the body engage. And then I want you to roll your shoulder blades back and pull them toward each other, midline of your body, so that your heart lifts. Chin stays slightly tucked here. And then lower back down. You're resting, maybe bending the knees and letting the feet just windshield wiper side to side. Hopefully you have a bigger space than me and your feet don't hit the wall. I'm going to allow the fingertips to come wide on the floor here. We're going to take this in 3 steps here. So this is a modified cobra pose. It's actually one of my favorite poses. Never was when I first started practicing with Matt, but now it is. Take a nice big breath in and a big breath out. Your next inhale, I want you to get really broad through the upper back, that protraction action we were working on earlier. Take a huge breath in here and out. Then bring your shoulder blades together on your back as you lift until your heart lifts forward, and then maybe you get a little bit higher. And then exhale, come back down. We're going to do that twice more. So inhale, fill up the upper back, move the shoulder blades away from each other. And then the shoulder blades come together on your back, staying on your fingertips if you can, maybe finding a little bit more length. And then all the way back down. And one more round on your own. See if you can take the 3 steps. And then all the way back down. And so now we're going to set up for a half bow pose. So you're going to prop yourself up onto your left elbow. Props around here a little bit. And then I want you to roll your right shoulder blade up and back, just like we've been doing all through class. Bend into the right knee. And then shift that hand back for the foot. And if you can walk the hand to the inside of the foot, that would be helpful. So you might notice that's a lot easier than it used to be. So we're going to do half bow here. Right shoulder blade to get together on your mid-back here. And then release. And propping yourself up onto the right elbow. Left shoulder rolls back. And then we reach back for the foot. The inside, if you can reach it. You're keeping the heart forward as the left shoulder blade comes to the midline. And then releasing. Take a moment here, pause. And if you'd like to come along for the full version, bow bend into both knees. I like to start propping myself up on the left elbow. I'll roll the right shoulder blade back. Reach back for my foot. And again, the inside of the foot. And then the same on the left. Shoulder blades come together on my back until my heart starts to lift. And breathe. And then slowly lower. Maybe windshield wipering the feet here, side to side. And finding stillness. We come back to a tabletop position. You're going to take that right knee and bring it up towards the right wrist, setting up for your pigeon posture. And so this is a posture where a lot of recurring thoughts and actions come up in my body. So it's something I have to come into very mindfully. So notice if your karmic or samsaric patterns are showing up here. Let's see if I can find a shorter block. So this is one of those postures where I typically bring thoughts up in my head like, oh, well, if I need a block, You know, my hips are not as open as they should be after practicing yoga for 20 years, but I now accept the fact that some days my hips are really open and some days they are not. So take a big breath in. And exhale, coming down. I like to come down on an angle here so I have a little bit more room for breath. So notice your karmic and samskaric patterns that come up in this posture. Is there anything that you can do differently here to find growth and transformation? Notice and observe what's going on in your body, what's going on in your mind. As you're ready, the hands come underneath the shoulders. And we'll find our way to the other side. So if you like to do that through down dog, again, just notice if it's a pattern. Maybe you try coming into it just from the floor. Left knee shifts up towards the left wrist. And notice I'm much more able to do pigeon much more comfortably on the left side without the block. Again, just something I noticed and observed over time. Take a nice big breath in, and then slowly lower. Again, maybe down to an angle. Yes, this is something I read recently, oddly enough, on the inside of the overnight oats package. Which is kind of funny, but I really liked it and it really resonated with me, so I'll share it with you. What was written on the inside of the cover was, "You are what you repeat," which I think is perfect for this class. So you continue to repeat the same things over and over, you are going to be that, right? Whatever those thoughts are in your mind or actions are in your body. Remember the old saying my parents used to say all the time, "You are what you eat." Now I really like, "You are what you repeat." I'm going to take a couple more breaths here. And just start to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. We're going to find a comfortable seat. So we're going to work on some breath work here. People like Sukhasana, easy seat. Find something that you can maintain. Because we're going to sit for some pranayama work. And then from pranayama we will move into meditation. So just find a seat. I'm not saying that you can't change in between, but just find a seat that you're comfortable with here. And take a nice big breath in and a big breath out. So I like to practice pranayama after asana, just because the body is a little bit more prepared for the breath work. Just take a moment here before we start to notice and observe Notice and observe your body, perhaps doing a body scan from the tips of the toes to the crown of your head. And then move that observance to your breath, initially without changing or modifying anything. Just notice how it's showing up. Notice its depth, its pace, its musical rhythm within your body. And with intention, start to deepen that breath, the inhales and exhales coming through the nose. Perhaps cultivating that ujjayi breath, the constriction at the back of the throat, that ocean wave-like sound as you breathe in and breathe out. And letting go of that ujjayi breath, we're going to work with a breath called the Viloma breath today, which is an interrupted breath. So we're going to do 3 rounds of it. On the first round, we're going to do the interruption on the inhales, and then have a nice long exhale. And on the second round, we're going to do a nice big full inhale, and we're going to do the interruptions on the exhale. And then in the third round, we're going to do the interruptions on the inhale and on the exhale. So take a nice big breath in to prepare, and exhale, let it go. So we're going to take an inhale to 1/3 of our breath capacity, and then pause. Inhaling 2/3, and pause. Inhale your full capacity, and pause. Nice long exhale. We'll take a cleansing breath in between, deep breath in, and a deep breath out. And now our second round, take a nice big breath in, fill up. Pausing at the top. Releasing, exhale 1/3 of your breath. And pause. Two-thirds. Pause. Empty all the breath out. Cleansing breath, deep breath in, and a deep breath out. And now our last round, interrupting on the breath in and on the breath out. So inhaling to 1/3 capacity. Two-thirds. Filling all the way up your full capacity. Exhale 1/3 and pause. 2/3. Empty all the air out. Take a huge breath in and a huge breath out. So this breath allows us, or gives us, the ability to begin to learn how to control our breath. And sometimes racing thoughts can come up in our minds when we do that, when we hold our breath on the inhale or on the exhale. That fight or flight reflex starts to kick in. We feel like we can't hold it in or we can't hold it out anymore. But learning to do that is really effective and really helpful for the body in times of stress, when you can just sort of dial into your breath, calm yourself down, and know that you can control that. The other thing that it helps is it helps to expand lung capacity over time if you start working with that breath. So I like that breath work a lot, and I use it often, so maybe it resonates with you as well. So now we're going to move into our meditation practice. So I would invite you to find maybe a blanket or a bolster or a stacking of blocks. I actually like the blocks myself. I'll use a thinner block and then a taller block. And I'm actually going to move back over here so I can get my lullabies. So today we are going to work with a mantra. The mantra Om Namah Shivaya. So this mantra infuses positive energy and helps rid us of negative energy. It also allows us to destroy and rebuild, which is really important. So we're going to do the mantra. So after I find my perfect seat. So these blocks not working for me today. So let's see if these two work. You could also use blankets, roll them up. I actually like this straddle seat. Some people prefer Sukhasana, the easy seat. Some folks, let's just sit on the edge of a bolster with the legs crossed. So find what works for you so that you can maintain a comfortable seat, so that your focus is on your mantra and not your body in its uncomfortable state. So we're going to start to find a nice comfortable seat, and once you find that seat, allow the hands to just rest gently somewhere in your lap. They can be on your knees, they can be interlaced together. Sometimes I like to have my left hand underneath my right and my thumbs touching, which is a mudra. It sometimes helps to settle me. Take a nice big breath in. We're going to roll the shoulder blades up towards the ears and then back and down. So really just starting to set up the body. Notice how you're showing up. Maybe even close the eyes and observe. Notice the slight tilt of the pelvis, the curvature at the low back, the softness in the shoulders. Just taking a moment here to observe. And so we're going to start the mantra now. So you can start with the mantra and you can say it out loud. I'll be saying it out loud. And over time you can allow that volume to get a little bit softer. So we'll be doing it 108 times. 108 is auspicious, the yoga environment. So find that place that works for you. So again, saying it out loud, and then we'll start to say it a little bit softer, and then perhaps even just saying it internally in your mind. So I'll start us off here with Om Namah Shivaya. And don't worry about the count, I'll keep count. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 If you lose track, just come back to your breath, or come back to your mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Maybe the volume comes down now. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Maybe it's barely audible now. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Namah Shivaya. Again, if you notice yourself getting lost or distracted, just come back to the mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Allowing your mantra to dissipate. Coming back to a place of observation and witnessing. Noticing what's showing up in the mind. Notice how the body feels. Notice if it's calm and peaceful. Perhaps distracted. Uncomfortable. allow yourself to sit with it. And begin to notice your breath, allowing it to deepen. Perhaps visualizing your physical form. As you begin to reawaken the mind and the body, coming back to your physical space, your physical body. Allowing the hands to come into heart center. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. I hope that perhaps your body and your mind are a little bit clearer, less cluttered. Perhaps you've started to take a step or two towards moving away from your samskaric and karmic patterns into a place of growth and transformation. Bring our thumb knuckles to our third eye. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I look forward to hearing from you.